Hello, guys. First live test here. Trying to see if I see any comments, trying to figure that out. Well, see how this goes. Right now, I can't see. Hey, Pedro, how you doing? I see that now. I just wanted to make sure I had somebody in there. How you doing today? Just working on this right behind me. Probably a lot of glare from the light, but working on getting this all plastered. Good to hear, Pedro. Good to hear. Not too bad. Nice and hot here in mid America today on the 4th of July. So, by the way, I love your videos. I think you got great consist when you make a video. Love seeing those locos. Thank you. You too. Well, I don't think you're. I think you're south of the border, aren't you? I'm not sure. Oh, then you're not that far from me then. So I'm in Illinois, so not too far away. So I'm gonna give this a few minutes, and I'm just gonna continue working. So if I don't catch your comment, I'll see. Try watch to see how many more people get in here. So I'll give it a few more minutes. But it's just a test to see. Um, then I'll announce maybe later when I'll have another one. So I'll give you a few minutes. See if I get anybody else. I know it's probably not a good time to do a live chat. So, but just a test. Continue working away on this. Hey, Lenny. Nice to see you. I might pull up a stool if I get a few more people. Probably nice and hot in Charleston, I'm sure, just like it is here in Bloomington. Pull us a little closer here. There we go. So you guys watched my last video when I showed you these funky that funky plaster I used. These actually turned out fairly nice. This is why I used the aluminum foil on, and it dried like a mold. And on the back, it's hollow, but it did dry hard like plaster. Um, so this one was a little bit thicker, so it's still. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these. I'm just gonna put them in there and paint them. I think I paint a hole to this, so it turned out pretty hard, which is pretty cool. In the meantime, I got more plaster, so just to, I wasn't sure how these were going to turn out, but actually, after about 4 days drying, they did okay. So I guess I'll get my $12 out of that because I got a lot to do. So yeah, same here. It's the same here. It's nice. That's why I'm down in the basement, staying cool. So. So I'm gonna try to get this plastered here in the next couple hours. At least this part behind me here in the riverbed, my mountain area, that where the tunnel is and all that stuff. So just continuing to plaster over the plaster cloth just to fill in the holes and give it some more texture. I've got a nice paint method that's CSX Mad. I can't think of the numbers on his name is, but he did that and it looks really well. This is going to turn out really nice once it's painted. So it should be pretty nice. Who else is in here? I see somebody else. Good, got some more people in here. Good. So guys, just working on gonna start working back on the mountain area, so hopefully I get a lot of progress done. So enjoying the hot day here in the air condition. So pretty cool. Yeah, you can do that in HO. In scale, most of mine got to run, pull, especially up my grades. Thanks, Bob. Thanks. I just saying earlier that you saw my last video, the funky plaster I used actually turned out pretty good. This is kind of weird how it hollow in the back, but actually they turned out really nice. This one here dried a little bit white. Looks really good. I can just glue it right on there and the way I'm going to go. So I'll probably go about, if I don't get any more people, probably about another 10 minutes or so. So chat and so. And I hope to be do another live stream again when I have it more scheduled, have more people in here, and especially if I have the scenery done, it'd be nice. I could show that and run some trains across it. I'm really wanting to get it painted, run some trains and look good, because I ran train on here in a month, and so I even showed my yard over here that I have done. So my industrial yard's in there, so almost wired too. my main line is mainly wired. Maybe another couple feeders in here with this Kato system. It's pretty easy. I mean, it makes it simple. You got the blue and white wires. You just attach it to your unijoiners down and wire it right up. So not too shabby, not too bad. So, but yes, I definitely want to run a train on here. Get out my ICG Intermountain SD40, which they never ran through anything like this mountainous area. So yes, I do on my main and my industrial yard. I used one number 4, and the rest is number 6s. In my yard, I used all number 4s, just to confine the space a little bit, to give me more room behind it to put that industrial yard in. So that's why I did that. That's why I use the number 6s. I tend to like the number 6s better. There tends to be some issues with the 4s, and the 6s, they're ready to go. You put some insulators on each end and make it wired at every end, work fine. The 4s you have to set to DC or DCC. So once I figured that out, it was okay. So hi Nancy, how you doing? Good to see you. Scrumptious, good to see you. About to get some more people watching for my first chat. Randy's rock and roll. McCarter's watching, which I finally tried to figure out rock and roll, and I got it once I figured out you were doing the Rock Island. So, okay, yeah, number 5s are kind of an in-between would work. Well, Nancy, how's your river area coming? Well, happy 4th, Nancy. Well, Bob, I have no problems with number 6s at all. Hey, John, nice to see you. My number 4s work okay on locos. I have to go slow with the big 6-axle loco over them. But if I had a Jeep, it'd just fly right through my yard, or any smaller engine will fly right through the yard. So, I don't have any problems with the number 4s, or number 5s probably work okay too. I think they would. So John, how are you doing today? I seen you up there. So happy 4th to everybody who's watching. I didn't know about doing one on the 4th, how many people I'd have. I just picked the time to try my first live chat. So how's the switching little thing you're doing coming, Randy? I seen the last video we were working on it. Well, I got some plaster down there. I forgot about. Oh, good deal. Yeah, I bought I've got my paint all ready for this. Well, I know, I saw him. He was really excited about that Amtrak, John. That's a pretty cool engine anyway. Not my era, though. But eventually I hope to have some superliners in here, which is why I kind of set my tunnels a little higher. I know the auto racks will go through them. I assume a superliner will. I'm not sure about my turn down here in this one, because it makes the turn in here. So we'll see when I get them. It may not. It may only be running Amfleets if I could do that. But I think if a trailer train goes through here, the 89 footers, and it clears it just by a hair, I don't think I'll have any problem with superliners or Amfleets. I haven't tried my old heavyweight baggage yet, so. But Nancy, I've got all my paint ready to do this, so I'm going to show, once I get this in, how I'm going to paint this. I'll show that and the method that I use. Also got my green paint for the riverbed. I'm going to go with like a green, and I'm going to tint my realistic water a little bit with just a touch of the green, not too much. Last time I used too much, you couldn't even really see to the riverbed. So with it painted and with a little, I mean, you just have to use just a little bit to color that up, and then do that and show how I do my fall. It's going to be a process. So, but it's going to look fantastic when it's done. I can't wait to actually have some trees on here, and so. Oh, nice, nice, Lenny. Yeah, some I probably will cut offs about for me the early '90s, maybe '93. Probably be stretching it with what I got. Um, but auto racks came in I think late '80s, so I'd have some like Conrail, CN, um, Santa Fe ones. If I don't even know if the Santa Fe had the auto rack or Trailer Train auto racks, I'd like to probably have a few of those eventually to run on my layout. So, but yeah, that would be nice to do. So, would definitely be nice. And then I also have a couple more locos to pick up from the depot where I take most of my stuff. That one I had in my other videos before. So I've got a IC GP9 coming and one of my other GM&O engines. They're both getting decoders and put in them. So he's pretty cheap. I could probably do that. I don't really want to mess with them. So I don't want to mess them up because I don't have very many locos to begin with. I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 8 or 9 total. So I don't want to mess with any of them. So I don't want to lose one. So, but yeah, I'm getting anxious to have a nice little scene on here. So, yes, they do. Yes, they do, Lenny. He's got a bigger selection of HO. Locos, so. Some of his prices aren't bad. I know he's got a couple NS locos. He's got a couple Iowa Interstates, BNSF, some Santa Fe, some Conrails. Yeah, so his prices are not so bad. They're not jacked up all the way. Like, if you go over to Peoria, there's one over there. I won't say the name. They're expensive. I got my trailer car for like $19 from the depot over in McLean, and over in Peoria I probably would pay 25 or 28. So it's a little bit of a difference. He's a little bit better priced. Yeah, Nancy. I found this on CSX Mad. I can't think of his rest of his channel name. I just was kind of it popped up when I was looking for other things, and I've seen his channel before, and he's done some great work. And I kind of saw this method, and I thought I like that. I really like that. So I'll show you how I do that with some gray, black, and then you come back with the brown and you color it back in some brown color in your rocks. So I'm gonna do all of them that way, and it should match the ones I've already done down here in the corner on my last layout. That's a similar method I used, so I want them to match, and I don't have to redo them or repaint them, so it should all match. I was gonna use the method in It's My Model Railroad. If you've seen that, he black washes it like a black, but I'm gonna use a gray because I want a lighter color. I want granite color. So his method's good, but that's a good deal, by Lenny. That's a good deal. That's an awesome deal. I can't hardly find an N-scale loco with sound in it for around that price. I grab it, but I can hardly find them around 150. Yeah, yeah, Bob. I get that. And I use the biggest Kato ones, and like I use it around in here, and then I cut it in with a shorter turn, and that part's fine. And then it does it. The only problem I have is down going into my yard. It was sharp. It's a sharp turn because it was butting right up against the main. It would come out of here and go straight towards the main, which is right behind the camera on the hill. And then I would turn it slowly into the yard, but I had no room to do this lifted area or any scenery back there. So I cut it short and changed it before I glued it down. This whole area I'm working on here where the mountain is and everything, it's already glued down and wired. So it was hard to cut it short. It works. I hang over a little bit. Don't have any derailments. So like a real railroad, I have to have a speed zone going in and out of that yard, slow it down. So, but it's pretty cool. So it worked really well. So worked out good. So I'm happy with that. I haven't had any problems with that. I kind of make sure when I glue it down that it's connected good, because it's Kato and it's a tight turn, so it tends to separate just a little bit. But once it's glued down, it should stay in place. So I haven't had any problems. So. Yeah. Well, hey, that sucks. Yeah, that does. Not really sure. I know that maybe they're a little bit longer. I think they're a little bit longer than an SD40, because that's my biggest locos that I have is an SD. Well, I have an SD45, but it's the same size as an SD40. It might actually be just a tad bit shorter because it doesn't have the larger deck on it like SD40. So, huh, huh. Which is strange. My Intermountain and my Katos are the more expensive locos, and they run fine on anything I put them on, and even my Atlases run fine. I get a Bachmann and I put it. It's little hiccups here and there with that thing. I don't know. It does fine on the. Since I got the Unitrack, I've had any issues with it. I haven't had any issues in the yard, but I'm not going to. The only time that's going to go through the yard is going to go around on the team track. To come back around behind the end of the train. So it's just a mainline runner. My SD40s I probably would use for switching, but since I'm like late 70s, 80s, I probably use Jeeps. Actually, I think for switching, I'm going to use my GP30. You could just use glue all and let's let it sit and dry. Or if you put down a plaster first and that plaster is wet, you could set your rocks down in that plaster and it would just adhere to that, which is basically what this rock here, if I could show you, Nancy, I don't know if you could see it, like this one in here, I still have to do some work under here and around, but that's in there with the plaster. So, I mean, this one up here is in there with the plaster too. I got some work to do with these. This one is in a soft spot, but this one I glued on. You can see where I glued it on with, use this right here. You can use this, but just remember, this spreads. Use a dab. Use a little dab of this. It won't go anywhere with this. I mean, I've used this on all my foam. It's strong. It's strong stuff, so. Yeah, Bob, I agree. It's they're expensive. They are expensive, yes. Yeah, I think sometimes on eBay you can find them between 150 and 200, but for the most part, it's hard. Well, scrumptious, that's true too. You could do that. By the way, I watched a video on that GG1 Penske you're doing. The old Tyco, pretty good, very good. I'm not sure about the flex paste. I've never used it. I honestly just use flat out plaster and paint it. So I don't know. I would assume it does. If that flex paste dries like plaster does, it'll sit in there. Trust me. But I'm not sure. Never used it, so I don't know. I can't tell you. So I would hope. Glue all. I've used glue all in my last river. The rock was up against the bank though, so Nancy was wondering if you could use if it would hold down her rocks if it was wet. Um, you can put it in, like I put mine in the plaster, and that works. And this river that I'm doing, I won't have any rocks in it, but up here on my waterfall, I will have a few rocks because especially on that top layer, I want to have a rock there where where it comes in like this to hide the back, so it kind of looks like it goes off into the background. That's my plan. I hope it works out, but I'll probably glue them down with glue all or Gorilla Glue. But if you want them to stick, really this will work, and I think it'll hold up. It bonds. You got to watch getting it on. You got to watch using it because it spreads. So I mean, literally just a little bitty drop of this on any rocks, especially because you're in scale. Any rocks you do to hold it. Because this one here back here, I put too much on it. You can see it running down here. So yeah, just use that, Nancy. It'll definitely hold. It'll definitely be waterproof. Which really it's not really water anyway. It's a resin, so that's why the glue all probably would work too, because it's not really a glue. It's a resin, so but it should work. That's at least it did for me. So BNS N scale modeler. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you here. No problem, Nancy. No problem. And then I don't know, Nancy, if you saw that weird mold stuff I used when I was talking about my other video. This is what it did with the rocks. It made a nice looking rock. It turned out hollow on the inside, which is fine because it'll glue onto it'll glue on perfect. This glue all for this will work great. And then my where I used this is where I used the foil, try to get the rock shape. My foil method, it turned out really well, so I'm surprised. I've got new plaster that I bought today because I wasn't sure about this, and when I came down here I seen these dried out, so I'm like, eh, I could have saved that buying the plaster. I could have just started making a lot more of these and just let them out to dry. Yeah, that's true, Harry. Nice to see you here, Harry. Yeah, and this is the bigger one. And I kind of broke up the bigger one and used some of the pieces back here. It holds plaster. It turned out hard. So it turned out pretty cool. I was worried, like, these things are going to be rubber. They're not going to paint. And actually, they dried. This will hold paint. I'm sure of it. So, and actually, I'll tell you what, Nancy, to paint everything, I just use, this is going to be my rock color. These simple things you buy at Walmart. They're cheap. You can get away with looking good without having expensive paint. So, whoops, just knocked over. Nope, none of my locos. All right. Yeah, it was. It had me worried when I saw the color come out. It looked like oatmeal. It really did. I thought, oh. So, but no, it dried. And the more it dries, the more it turns white. So it's a little bit off-white because that's pretty white, but you can see back here it's probably a little bit off-white. But yeah, I can use these. I can just, with that hollow, I can just put it on glue it down on a corner, put a little plaster around it. Done. So not too bad. But that's it. Yeah, for going back to Bob talking about sound logos, I only really have one because that's all I can afford, and I got it for 150, and it was the Bachman with the tsunami value sound in it, which sounds great. I mean, it's, and I can put it on the head with my. Good deal. True, Scrumptious. True. Some are. That's true, Nancy. That's true. That's true. Yeah, there's some that still jack up their prices, but I think a lot of them, and you find some of the better, smaller guys, they do. They really do become more competitive. That's true too, Pedro. No doubt about that. No doubt. Man, I was hoping I'd see Sparky in here because he's always wondering when I was going to go live. So um, he's probably, who knows what he's doing today. So, but not a nice turnout. So I was up to 8 or 9 at one time. So yeah, they are. That's true, scrumptious. Yep. Probably is barbecuing, Nancy. That's probably true with a Lablat or one of them Canadian beers. I'm sure. I gotta, which are actually not too bad. I'm not gonna say that. Or he has a Dr Pepper, probably one of the two. Wow. Yeah, that's a cool loco. That's a nice looking loco. Yeah, yeah, it's true, scrumptious. I remember those little locos like that with sound. Yeah. Even their little in scale 70-ton switchers start out like seven. They start out cheap, like I want to say around 70. I think now they're up to 100. So yeah, and they used to have the Alco switchers. I think under 100 too, and now they're over 100 because they have sound. So I bet he is. I don't think it's a day off in Canada because they had theirs was Sunday, Canada Day, their celebration for their independence. So yeah, that's good. He's probably working. So, but so I just thought I'd try a live chat today, see what I got. So far, I'm not too bad. I think next time I'll have the laptop over here, like Sparky does, so I can follow the thread because I can't see on here what you guys. I can only see when your comments pop up. So I need to get the laptop so I can follow the thread, kind of answer you guys back, which that's a good idea. I like that idea when he said that. Now I see why he does that. So I'll probably stay on here a few more minutes. I went over 30 minutes, so thanks, John. Thanks. We kept up the conversation. So yeah, because I'm anxious to get going on this back here. I'm getting there. This is almost plastered in some touch up on this whole big area here. If you look, this area up to here, I got, and that method I used. Well, hey, that's good. I'm glad, Nancy. Um, but this paper method, if you work on your mountains, you're right, Scrumptious. You're absolutely right. Um, and even the little starter sets for kids are becoming more expensive and harder to find unless you go to probably the most. I think the Midwest Model Railroad is probably one of the better places to buy that will be competitive, and they'll have a selection. But if you go to like your stores, like Hobby Lobby here has. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be because they're not DCC. I think Bachman makes one with Easy Track that you can control the loco. You can control with your phone, so it has that interface or whatever in it. It's an NS set, and they sell it for over $100. So what parent's gonna do that? I just yeah, you're right. It just manufacturers get ahead of themselves. Like the bigger manufacturers, Intermountain, stuff like that. I mean, Microtrains used to make the little sets that were very cool. So, oh, you're probably yeah. That's wow, yeah. Because I think they're like 150, around 150 here at Hobby Lobby. So yeah, it's too bad. It's a shame. Because I remember going to my hobby store, which closed here in Bloomington, Hobbyland, because he had to inflate his prices. Were not it's not very competitive, unfortunately. He was one of the smaller guys that did not. he charges what he could get for them. And he closed. But when I went down there as a kid, the guy that started it and owned it before him, you could buy Athearn blue boxes for a couple bucks. But I mean, of course, that was in the '80s. But then he'd have like a case full of used stuff, and man, I'd always buy Dollar Loco. I'd buy it. I wouldn't care what road it's in. When I was a kid, I had like, you name the road, I probably had it in the Athearn blue box. I mean, Western Pacific, Seacoast, Burlington Northern, and then he had the old was it Tyco or Bachman SW2, the S2 switchers. Had a Milwaukee Road, a Burlington Northern, and I think an N&W. So I had a set of those, but that was fun. That's what was fun, you know. And nowadays, yeah, they're taking that out of there. I think there's guys around the country and probably in Canada and here that do that. So yeah, you could buy them in your Target, Sears. Um, they were everywhere. That's what made it great. That's what made the hobby grow. You know, I still carry it on because of that, because of the Tycos. I remember now they weren't prototypical because they made a GM&O red and white in a GP20, which was not anywhere near prototypical, but it was cool because nobody else made them other than Lifelike made them, and Lifelike made some cheap engines, which those are cool roads they made, but you run them now and it's like, um, but in the I say late 2000s, when I got back into it, I had HO stuff, and I bought a Bachman. It was the Spectrum at that time. They just came out, had an engineer in the cab and a fireman, and it was a nice Santa Fe GP35. It was a fantastic model. Um, for the tunnels, Nancy, um, that's true, Bob. On the tunnels, Nancy, I built foam around them, and then I just on the part where this portal goes in, I use this foam like this foam board at the dollar store, and I built the little box for the tunnel portal, the entrance, and then I just used some of this to cover it in the back area here to make sure when I did this that didn't, you know, any materials fall down on my track. Plus I covered my track back here where I can reach around and get to it. Hey Rodney, nice to see you. And I just built the foam, the 1 inch foam I built like around it, you know, so it ran underneath it. And then my mountain, you saw I just used a crumpled paper, and it will absorb some of that stuff that's drips down. Some probably got back there, haven't looked, but before I run a train, I'm gonna get in there and clean and look and see. Um, so it's not too bad. That's what I did. I mean, it turned out nice. I liked it. I was very worried about the shape, um, Nancy. So, but it once I saw it up against the corner, I'm like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it turned out nicely. So, nice to see you here, Rodney. I seen you pop up. Man, I could not go outside and mow today here in the Midwest. I would die. It's about 100 out there right now with about 90% humidity. So typical 4th of July. So instead I came down here in the air condition. We just taking it easy today. Enjoying the AC. Of course later I have to barbecue on the grill, so that'll probably be pretty hot. But glad to see you made it, Rodney, because I always check out yours and your videos, and so I don't know. You're still doing the pretty good Loco Force. Pretty good. Yeah, I like the old Athearn stuff. So very good stuff. So, but yep, that's pretty much it. So well, now I got some more people in here, and we're chatting. I'll probably stay on a little longer. So especially Rodney came in here. I want him to at least get a break from mowing the yard. So I haven't seen any major changes videos, Rodney, or We done with the major changes and just the layout now, or gonna do something different project on your layout, or I don't know if you're still working on the Tropicana. Oh, yeah, we had some rain this morning. We're getting rain off and on, but man, it's just hot. It's just hot out there. So, well, hey, see you later, Bob. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. So, hopefully, we can do this again. Oh, okay. Well, I can't remember how big is your shed, Rodney. I can't remember how big. I think you said once. I don't remember how big it is. It looks pretty big on the video. Like it holds. You got like a couple layer layout going there. Ah, ah. Sorry to hear that. I know that's tough, Rodney. It's tough. Oh yeah, how is your dad doing with that though? Is he doing okay with it or handling it? 12 by 32. Okay, that's a pretty good size shed. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, yeah, there is like anything. Well, that's cool, Nancy. Let's see where my what I use for. I have a hole punch. It was a little kit. My wife bought some scrapbook stuff, and she got a bunch of stuff, and she said, "You want this little tool kit?" And I said, "Well, what is it?" It had these little pliers in it, and had a little like tweezers and stuff in it, and with the hook on. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take it." And it had these hole punches in it where were sharp on the end. So with this foam, I just marked under my switches, got the bigger one, pounded it in, just kind of took it because it had rough edges. So I just kind of did that and dropped my wires in. But wow, that's too bad to hear, Rodney. Too bad. Yeah, it's tough. You treat poison with poison, unfortunately. After all these years, there's different methods, but it's still same thing. Yeah, it's just so. What are your thoughts and prayers? So we hope it gets better, man. So, which what I like, Nancy, about this Unitrack, and I think you probably have some. I plywood. Oh, that's right, you do. So no problem, Rodney. You do, yeah. You need a drill for yours. See, I'm on just strictly foam with a support system underneath. So Loco Force, that's the way to do it. I wasn't not very good at soldering, but I did get eventually a new soldering iron with a better tip on it that I could probably do it now if I wanted to. Well, thanks, Wilmer. Nice to see you in here. Nice to see you. I hope you're getting time to work on your layout today. So that'd be cool. I like watching your videos. I like watching seeing you work on this new layout. I'm gonna be nice to see you a train run on it. So that will be nice. So. Hey, Tom. Nice to see you drop in. Where are you at today? I'm sure you're out somewhere. Thanks, Tom. Oh, I agree, Nancy. I agree. I did with this one for the longest time. I still do down in my yard. One of the couple of the turnouts. Well, hey, you're not that far. You're not that far. You're up. You're up there in the north. It is a big picnic day, Wilmer, that's for sure. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so man, see, I still have some wires taped up too. I got to get them down, but it's nice to get those off the top of the layout. Definitely for sure. So, but the Kato Unitrack makes it so easy. They got the pre-made feeders. I just use the simple method of these little things here. If I can get one out, got a whole pack of these things. Cool, Rodney. Good, good. We like to see some videos. Um, Getting it done, Wilmer. I'm working on it. So far, I'm getting more plaster put in here. This is looking really rocky, nice. So I hope when I paint it brings out the texture in it. But yeah, I just use these little things, Nancy. Yes, yes, yeah. It is unfortunately expensive, but that's true, Rodney. That is true. But I use these little, especially for those little feeder wires, Akato. I think they're like 22 gauge, probably right around there. So the only thing I'm worried about, this is a terminal joiner. Um, so basically, like, I'll explain this to you. Let me open this up. What's this joiner? I don't know where my open one is. I'll show you that. Now I've got a bigger, heftier one I use for the bus lines going into the layout. So, like instance, we're blue and white because we're Kato. So you would have on one side your white. Um, wow, Tom, you're going across the country, buddy. You would put your white wires in here, your white feeders. You can, how many ever you want to put in here. Then on this side, you would put your bus line. I think you can. I'm not sure. I'm only having one bus line to each one of these. So I run my white to my white, and your blue and your blue. So all your blues would be on your blue feeders would be on one side, and your blue bus line would be on the other. And you just screw it down. Now my only concern is this one's a little bit smaller than my other one. So I use 16 gauge for my bus line. But I think if I shape the end of it, because it's not solid, it's stranded, because I'm working automotive, I can get a cheaper, big roll of it at my cost. So that's why I use that. But I'm a little bit worried about it fitting down in these. So, um, but I think I can work around them and get them down before I make sure. I'm going to make sure it's tight. So I might run my bus line to these on top here, then put them down where I need to underneath. You can glue these, or you can screw them on or nail them on, however you want to do that. Clip them on. I got 10 of these for $5. I think is what I paid for them. Plus shipping, unfortunately, off eBay. But you can find them on eBay. You just have to look around. But that's what I use. And I had good luck with this, so better luck than what I did before. Yeah, Tom, I use suitcase connectors, and I probably would maybe do them again on this layout. But the problem is with the Kato feeders are like 22 gauge, and I have a 16 gauge. Yeah, end connectors, Rodney, would work too. Um, that's what somebody workshop me said. Oh, you gotta use these. They just snap right in. They're made by 3M and get them everywhere. Guy probably has them at home. So if he brought me some, I'd probably try them. This is what I use. It works fine for me. So that's if it works for you, use it. If it doesn't, look around, do some investigating and research, and find a method that does. And you'll find one. I guarantee it. So, yep. But hey, SP, nice to see you. With these barrier strips, no, I've had no shortages unless I don't secure the wire down good enough. That's on me. But once you make sure your wires in there tight, and yeah, I don't have any issues with them. Suitcase connectors, you just have to make sure your gauges are close enough when you have one other gauge going in one side and the bigger gauge being your bus line going through the other, that it clamps down. Um, as I was finding with 16 gauge, if I went to the bigger suitcase connector, then that littler wire for the feeder, I couldn't even clamp down on it. And I had one that was for an 16 to 18 gauge wire, and it should have fit the smaller wire. It didn't. That smaller wire just came right out. So that's why I don't really. Suitcase connectors were okay on my last layout, but I had some issues with them and some shorts in some areas with the suitcase connectors, which sometimes they'll tend to do that. So, yeah. Well, so yeah, you know what? I with you, Rodney. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. And this wasn't really an expensive method. I mean, I bought a ton of these barriers. I have more than I need for $10. You just have to look around and find the right price works for you. So that's all I got to do, man. I'm almost been on here an hour. I'll keep it to about an hour and call it a day and get going on my mountain here. Yeah, yeah, you can do that too, Tom. That's pretty reliable. And you ever got your layout going yet? You gonna start on one, or maybe make a shelf one when you're home? Whenever you're home, I guess is the question. Someday, Tom will get. We're planning on getting here to. Well, that's a good point, Nancy. You don't want shorts. Hey, Lenny, glad to see you're back. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. My dad was doing that, and I kind of talked him into. He's cleaning out his basement rooms a little bit, and he started making a little bit of just started with a little bit of a shelf one, and it turned into something he can put some track on. So I'm kind of pushing him into getting his HO started again. So, um, but that's cool. That's cool, Tom. You can make a small shelf one pretty easy with the unit track if you used it, or especially being in scale. So hopefully Tom comes down and visits sometime. We always miss, but we'll get together someday. He'll bring his suitcase, and we'll run some of that stuff out of his suitcase on here and have some fun someday. So that is if you're still carrying your suitcase, Tom. I don't know. So got you, Tom. Got you. Yeah, I mean, I could do some. I used to have mine on a before I cleaned up my basement. And nicer. This is still some cleaning here and there to do, but it was this cobwebs, bugs everywhere, stuff living down here. We cleaned it up, so good deal, Tom. So someday when we get down here, maybe soon, and you can bring your suitcase. We'll put it up on the workbench and we'll open it up and pick some stuff out and run some stuff. I think you got some nice stuff in there. Like see that Super Chief. That'd be cool. See that Super Chief once I get these mountains done. Come out of this tunnel and run around over the top of this bridge. I think you got the whole. I think you got the set of the Super Chief. That'd be pretty cool. I know Don McLean. He has the 4 car set. I think. Yeah, it would be. It would be cool to see. That's for sure. But yeah, you got some trucking to do, Tom. That's for sure. Wow. Yes, Linda. Yes, it is. Yep. And Redbird is the alma mater. So being Illinois State, I paid a lot of money to. Hey, no problem, John. Nice of you to stop by. Have a good Fourth. Be safe out there and enjoy the weekend or the day off. It's not the weekend yet. It feels like it should be, but it's not. So getting closer though. So which I wish I could work on this a little bit more on the weekend coming up, but I think we'll be definitely busy on Saturday with the wedding. So and so maybe get a little time in the morning. So because I'm gonna be anxious to get painting this, but I still have some work to do. Got some little to do some along this back wall here. A little bit, put some of these little rocks in here. So me, I'm doing nothing, working on the layout and staying at home. I'm gonna grill something and just stay at home. I've got an older dog, and since he's gotten older, last 3 years or so, fireworks just yeah haven't been his friend. So I'll stay home with him, and we'll just eat off the grill and relax and get up, go to work the next day. Which if I would plan it out right, I would eventually like take a day off for myself to work on my layout, which would be nice. But fortunately, I still got to go to doctors and get CTs and stuff. So, yep, Nancy. Yep, stay inside, stay safe. Yep. There's a lot of people out there shouldn't be messing with fireworks in Illinois are illegal anyway. Sparklers and snakes, kind of like the Joe Dirt movie. Sparklers and snakes. That's all we can have, basically. And some smoke bombs and stuff like that. So people still get them though. Drive over to Indiana and get them. So that way nobody gets hurt, I guess. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yep, yep. I understand that. Yeah, yeah. You can. We can see we're a little ways from the park, but there's a few that are. That's true, Pedro. That's true. It's true. So, but yep, just staying inside, staying safe. Yeah, there's some people out there shouldn't have fireworks, but yeah, yeah, true, Rodney. Other than I get a little more time in the week to work on it. I like watching them too, Tom, but I don't mind it. But the crowds and stuff anymore nowadays, you never know. Plus, here lately we've had some homicides here, and they're worried about violence at the park, and oh, okay, well, then Nancy, you're in the same kind of situation we are. They're banned here, and basically we just have the smoke, like I said, smoke bombs, pops, and snakes and stuff like that. So, which I guess is fine, keeps people safe, keeps fires from happening. But when I was younger, when I was younger, yeah, I would mess with the fireworks. I loved it. But now I'm older, I can't mess with that stuff. I prefer to have my fingers so I can do this. So, well, guys, I'm about in an hour, so I'm going to wrap it up so I can get going on this and film the next part. I have one little part of my update film. I want to show you guys what this looks like when it's done. Oh, God, I bet they do. I bet they do. Yeah, I bet they do. So, guys, um, I'm going to call it a day here. So, you no problem, Nancy. I'm gonna definitely you'll be seeing this mountain in an update here in a few days for sure. So yeah, 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 it is. Yeah, it is. It sure is. That's the way it feels. Um, So you guys take care. I'll catch you hopefully on Wednesday or tomorrow night on Sparky's if he has one. Um, you too, Tom. I'll see you later, Tom. Have safe travels. See you later, Pedro. Have a good day. Have a good 4th over in Iowa. So thanks everybody for stopping in. I'll see you later, Rodney. Thanks for stopping in. Everybody be safe out there today. So thanks everybody, and Nancy, I'll definitely have an update on this. That's for sure. So I hope to get going. So you guys, I'll see you later. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping.